Alright guys, so something for you to think about today. I was listening to some climate ramblings. You know, you got the crazy wildfires in Sweden, the heat domes. They got what are called Arctic monsoons now. Well, one scientist just recently coined that term. And, you know, the droughts across Europe, other places, record temperatures in every part of the globe. It makes me want to reiterate the importance that people understand that there may well be an agenda to exploit disaster in whatever form it comes in. Governments, corporations, and individuals will exploit disasters for their own gain to make profits. That doesn't necessarily mean that those threats aren't real. The threats, more often than not, are real. Sometimes they're exaggerated, sometimes they're underestimated. Now, if we entertain the notion, and I'm just saying if, we entertain the notion that irreversible and abrupt climate change is a very real thing, and it's happening right now, how would a government, corporation, or individual best exploit that? Well, they wouldn't exploit it best by saying that the sky was falling and that we needed to prepare for the end of days, because that's not the most profitable solution to that problem. There are ways to exploit it, like mining more taxes from the population, but you can only do that if people believe that the problem can actually be solved. But these are not seen as valid solutions by any serious, bona fide climatologists around the world. It's only profitable if the plane of civilization stays in the air, and if people believe we have enough gas to get to our destination. Because if things are foobar, we may as well just turn the engines off right now and take a nosedive. People will be fistfighting on the airplane, creating a ruckus, breaking the windows, it's gonna depressurize, and everybody's gonna be screwed. Or they're gonna be kicking down the door to the cockpit, trying to lynch the pilot, or trying to beg and plead with him to not let the plane crash by any means necessary. But be advised that the plane is inevitably going to run out of gas. It has to. It's only a matter of time. They're never going to tell you if the crap is going to hit the fan. And this is the real scary part of all of this. A lot of people think, oh, well, why are they building new bridges? Why are they building tall skyscrapers? You know, why are the elites investing billions of dollars in these massive projects if there's people who are privy to, some knowledge that the rest of us aren't, perhaps, or perhaps not, that prove beyond all reasonable doubt that we are, in fact, headed for a major climate disaster? And the answer to that is simple. If there was a projection, and not a prediction, if there was an actual projection based on current up-to-date data and scientific evidence that we were heading into an age that a massive pandemic was imminent in the next 5 years, that there was a solar flare that was going to hit the Earth and destroy most life on Earth, the last thing you would ever want to do is to whip the civilization into a frenzy and, in essence, tank the economy, create a big mess for yourself to prepare. So what I would presume would be the case if the highest, most best and brightest are actually working in the highest positions of power, which I presume they are, you would want to keep a lid on things to the very last minute. Let's take the most extreme example of this. Even if there was an asteroid that was coming towards the Earth and there was no way they could hide it, so it was something that was visible from an everyman telescope. You know, it wasn't something that you needed a scientific observatory to see that they could lock down or put gag orders on people for, whatever. What they would likely say, if they were smart, is just like they say in the movies. People of America, have no fear. We are going to shoot down the asteroid with a nuclear weapon. This has a 99% chance of success. And don't worry about it. And then when the first one misses, they'll have a backup plan, just like in the movies. And then that one will probably miss. And then, it might be 2 weeks of total pandemonium before the crap hits the fan. That's actually the plot of a movie I'm going to be reviewing in the next few days also. So stick around for that. And I'm saying this because this is how you would minimize the most suffering. For a situation like that you couldn't prepare for, there would be no sense whatsoever telling people months, a year, even weeks or days even beforehand necessarily, because what are you going to do? People think, oh, I'm just going to live my life to the fullest, but not if there's frickin' chaos in the streets. You're not. You want to maintain the peace up into the very last minute. So you need to really be mindful of the fact that you're really on your own in deciphering the big ones, as far as they can be predicted by existing scientific research. There's a lot of things which are likely to happen in the coming years that you can predict. Increasing government powers in various regions. What I've found with politics in the United States is that the right will come in and embolden the militaristic parts of government, and then the left just comes in. I'm not just talking about the military, I'm talking about the police. And then the left comes in and they empower all other aspects of government. And so it's just back and forth until before you know it, both of these things are playing on each other. The right comes in and they give the police the power to do whatever they want. And then in the next election, the left comes in and complements that by giving the social workers the ability to do whatever they want. How people can't see both sides of the coin isn't surprising to me anymore, because if you go on Instagram, there's a girl I'm subscribed to who has about 150,000 likes on every picture of her ass that's on there. And there's a guy named Paul Beckwith, who's probably one of the nerdiest but most knowledgeable climatologists on YouTube, who I think has around, maybe 1,000 to 2,000 views per video. But he's not screaming like a banshee, like some radio shock jock we all know, that the NWO is nigh and Luciferian death cults want to sacrifice our babies. This is why most people are deluded by the political paradigm. Don't think that just because big players are making big plans, that big catastrophes are not on the horizon. The plane needs to be moving forward to stay aloft. And if it isn't, it's going to crash and burn before the crap hits the fan. And chances are, if you were among the elites of the world, you would want to buy all the time you could to prepare yourself for whatever catastrophe was inbound. I mean, this is also, in a sense, as a small business owner with CanadianPreparedness.com, people say, oh, why are you, making a business and selling all these things if you truly believe that this stuff can happen? In doing a business with the products that I'm using in the climate that there is right now in the advertising world, when you have Facebook and YouTube who refuse to allow you to advertise most of the products in my store, so I'm limited to advertising my store via my friends who, share my products with you guys on their YouTube channels. This isn't an industry that you're in to make money, is what I'm trying to say. I do this because I love to do it. But yeah, I also believe that you don't just want to, turn the engines off in mid-flight while there's still gas to burn, if you know what I'm saying. You might as well go till the end, because that's all there really is to do. So yeah, go out, improve yourself, gain self-mastery in any way that you can while you still can. Because at any moment in time, it doesn't matter how green your grass is, it doesn't matter how beautiful the sunset you are looking at is as it comes over the horizon while you sip on your nice warm cup of coffee in your PJs on your front step reading the newspaper. It doesn't matter how good things seem. We are at a point in history right now where there's a multitude of singular events that can trigger domino effects which would totally wipe out our civilization. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. There's only 3 days worth of food in the grocery store. 3 days worth of food. Let that sink in. We are locked in to this way of life, I'm not saying don't enjoy and embrace every aspect of those moments that you can. I'm just saying no matter how infinitely peaceful those moments may seem, and how far it might seem we are from collapse, know that what separates us from that disaster and chaos is just a thin protective film of socioeconomic harmony. It's like the astronauts in the Apollo 13 movie. You know how they're talking about how they're separated from the deadly cold vacuum of space, from this very thin layer of tinfoil or something like that? That really is the fragility of our civilization right now. I'm not saying live in a constant state of fear. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Joke, laugh, have fun, watch the odd stupid video. But be mindful of how delicate the fabric of society really is. And the more I learn about the inner workings of government and how things work at the top, the scarier it actually gets, because you do realize that on many, many levels, there's a lot of incompetency. And a part of me wonders, and I'm talking about, strategizing, emergency preparedness planning on the whole, how much money is invested in it, the logistics of government plans and all the rest. It makes me wonder if all of the intelligence and the true wit that's being applied to gaming those scenarios is being saved for the upper echelons and basically their get out of Dodge plan, because it certainly isn't being invested into effective emergency preparedness planning that's actually going to work. A part of me even wonders sometimes if the whole WW3 defense thing is just a facade. If they just build it to, make some money, the military-industrial complex, but they know there really is no saving the world at that point. They just do it for the sake of doing it to appease the public, so they can secretly save all the resources and use all the really smart people to save their own butts. For example, maybe some of the economically driven solutions which are proposed for some of the biggest potential disasters that we face as a civilization are merely a ruse to make people think as though something is being done about it, when in all actuality, it's kind of just another version of duck and cover. Just duck under the desk and cover and everything will be all right, and you can go home back downstairs to your bunker and we'll rebuild civilization the next day. Well, that's not how it's going to work. We all know that is a bunch of BS. So what I'm rambling on about here on a whim and not articulating probably in a way which best could is that if there was a large disaster, you and me will be the last to know. And if it's a global, lights out, extinction level event scenario, I'm pretty cool with that. How about you? Would you want to know or not? Maybe we'll make that the topic of the next video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Leave a trolling remark. It really does help the channel. It boosts the engagement of the channel, boosts the viewership. And of course, I know my trolls watch the longest. So please hang in there to the very end and post some passive-aggressive stuff. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out. The best way to support this YouTube channel is to support yourself by gearing up through CanadianPreparedness.com or BugoutRoll.ca. Premium quality gear at the best possible price using the incredibly secure and easy-to-use Shopify platform. We offer free shipping to the United States for orders over $200 USD and free shipping to Canada over $75. So support the channel by supporting yourself.